In this lesson, we'll take a look at the tools we have that affect areas. Bring up the New Objects menu and select Common. From there, check out the subcategory Game. We will be working with the first three tools here. The Trials Evo game world comes already populated with all kinds of objects and foliage, some of which cannot be selected with the cursor. If you want to get rid of any of these items, the Area Clear tool is your friend. Area Clear only works on objects that are in the base world, so objects that you place will not be affected. Spawn this tool in the editor and place it near some base world objects or foliage. By default, the Area Clear tool is set to remove trees and shrubs, and the red dotted lines that create a circle surrounding the tool icon represent the affected area. Any bushes or trees that are within that bubble should immediately disappear. Bring up the Properties menu and you can alter the options to be a bit more specific about what is deleted. Trees, shrubs, and grass should speak for themselves, and base world objects is any object that appears in the game world when you open a new track. Next, let's take a look at the Area Condition tool, which is used to alter the environment settings. When you spawn this tool in the editor, it is surrounded by blue dotted lines that create a bubble. This bubble is the area within which this tool is activated. As your target object enters the bubble, the effects will begin to appear. This bubble can of course be resized using the triggers. Keep in mind that this is a global effect. The area only determines when the effect is activated. The changes it makes to the environment will be visible in the entire game world. Now let's open the Properties menu and see what we've got. First are some object physics properties that we've already discussed. The first property we're going to talk about is Reacting Object. This determines what object activates the area condition. By default, it is set to Game Character, so if your game character is the bike, the area condition will activate when the bike enters the bubble. Active Camera uses the position of the active camera, or you can choose a custom object. Select any object you like and now that object will activate the condition change. Fade determines how quickly the effect occurs. With the fade set to 100, there is a gradual change. At the outside edge of the bubble there is zero effect, but as you move into the bubble more, the change occurs gradually. Only at the center of the bubble do you get the full new look. Alternately, if you turn the fade down to 0, you will get the full effect as soon as you enter the bubble. The intensity slider will adjust how much of the effect is applied when the tool is fully activated. Set to 100, you get the full new effect. Set to 0, you don't see any change at all. Later, when we get into how to adjust these values on the fly during gameplay, this will be a useful setting for creating environment changes with no need for physics objects. Size is just another way to adjust the size of your bubble from within this menu, and the last and possibly most important option we'll cover is the Area Condition settings. It is laid out a little differently, but in this submenu you get basically the same options we looked at in the custom environment settings. Go in here to set how the environment settings will change when the Area Condition tool is active. The last area tool we will cover is the Area Selector. This tool is used to easily select a number of objects at once. If we fire up the properties, we have a few options. In the variations, we have the option to use the tool as a sphere or a cube. Then we also have a number of checkboxes to determine what objects the Area Select can select. In the editor, you have two modes to adjust the area. By default, the triggers will scale the area up and down, but you can also switch to rotation mode by hitting the Y button. Now the triggers will rotate the area. There are two ways to use the Area Selector as well. You can either resize the tool and select everything within it, or move the tool around, selecting everything you want to include. In both cases, you will use the A button to make the selection. Once your selection is made, back out with B, and you now have all those objects selected. You can move them, delete them, group them, or whatever else you might want to do with a bunch of objects at once.